Yeah.
And then there's A.J. Francis, a free agent who played last season in Washington. He did not hear that, signed with the Giants yesterday, posted this on Instagram. When the team you were on didn't appreciate you, but the team you played against actually pays attention to the film, hashtag New York State of Mind, hashtag Giants, hashtag G-Men, hashtag Big Blue, hashtag New Beginnings, hashtag I'm gonna see y'all twice this year, hashtag October 28th, hashtag December 9th, hashtag and your logo is racist, hashtag this me laughing at y'all, be mad in the comments too. Wow, that's napalm. Anybody want to?
You only got 939 likes. That's not a lot. Even I know that, and I'm not on social media.
I'm not sure at what point we got that screenshot. Maybe there have been more likes since then. But
maybe.
The idea of going, I mean, I know that when players leave one place to go to another, especially if they sign with a rival, they're always heated going into those games, right?
Absolutely. It's always something special when you play against your former team, in particular how your exit took place. For whatever reason, he's unhappy with this situation totally that took place in Washington. Happy that he gets to go to New York to play against them a couple of times a year, to make them see him up close and personal. And the great thing about football, to make them feel him. I'm looking forward to seeing what takes place.
Now we're all paying attention, though. You better have 2 amazing games, right? By the way, I'm not saying I'm all for burning a bridge. If you felt like you got disrespected and you didn't like the way they sent you, burn that bridge, napalm it. I don't care. But now that the attention's on you, and you better bring it.
Yeah, Giants-Redskins doesn't need any extra emphasis. Come on, this is the NFC. This is the I-95 corridor. It's all for real all the time. That's why they call it the city of brotherly shove in Philadelphia.
So, burning the bridges there. Okay, you tell me, guys, you want me to go to Barkley? You want me to go? All right, let's go to Charles Barkley then. Sal, I'm really interested as a longtime reporter yourself to get your take on this. A day after that he said he would like someone to punch Draymond Green in the face, and Green subsequently challenging him to actually do it, Charles Barkley apologized, sort of, during halftime of last night's game between the Jazz and the Rockets. Here's what he said.
What I said was inappropriate. I would never punch an NBA player. I would never punch an NBA player. I meant what I said. I meant what I said. But I would never punch an NBA player. Draymond Green's a good player. I think he's a nice kid. I wish him nothing but the best. But what I said was inappropriate.
So we've had a little mixed, discussion up here over the last 2 days.
I've been listening to it. I've been listening to it. I mean, as you're supposed to analyze and not antagonize. That's what you said. I wrote it down. It's something that I think, I teach journalism, and the one thing you don't want to do is be the story. You want to cover the story, but you don't want to be the story. But isolated, what he said was wrong. There's no question about that. If you're somebody who follows sports and cares about sports, sports has an impact. Sports is part of the civic fabric of what goes on in this country. And you can't say that. He stepped over the line. And I'd like to see him, and I know Charles, I'd like to see him not only apologize to Draymond Green, but, the reason why the NBA has exploded is because young people are watching it and consuming it more and more on social media and on all kinds of platforms. Apologize to those young people out there. Apologize to parents out there who had to listen to
Sal, first of all, Charles Barkley is not a journalist. We all agree, right?
Yes.
He's not a journalist.
That was the first thing, yeah.
He's a personality.
Okay, I gotcha.
And he is an outlier in a world of talking heads. I'm not saying he can say anything, but I'm saying in this particular case, I don't think any of us really thought, oh, Charles is going to go punch Draymond. None of us thought that, right?
We thought, based on the tone of what he said, that there was something personal there. And anytime you're threatening physical violence against someone else,
wrong.
That's not something that we should be.
I never took that seriously.
But here's what he is. And by the way, we all love Charles and all of the quantifiers there. But we can't take for granted, Bees, that he is a sports analyst.
I'm not saying that.
He's an analyst for sports that probably got an email or a phone call
from
somebody that he works for, and acknowledge for him to go on television and say what he said was inappropriate.
And here's the other thing, we are able to differentiate it because we're in the business. But there are a lot of people at home who can't differentiate. Okay, is he a journalist or an analyst? Or
they never know the difference.
And they don't know the difference.
No, they don't.
Many people don't. and it sort of paints us all in the same corner, if you will. If Charles can say that, then somebody else can say that, and it's all fair game, and it's not right.
I have so many thoughts on this that they would take up a lot more time than we have here. I mean, journalism, and I went to journalism school. Journalism is a concept.
That's one of us.
But journalism is a concept, and media is a business. And Charles Barkley is in the business of media. He isn't a journalist. And by the way, so aren't a lot of people who make their living in media. I thought that Charles Barkley's apology, if you want to call it that, was completely appropriate, because he isn't sorry for what he said. He's just sorry he said it. You know what I mean? Like he wanted to punch Draymond Green in the face. I think that's what he said. I think he said, I meant what I said. I would like to. In that moment, I felt like I want to punch Draymond Green in the face. I just shouldn't have said that on television. I basically think that's what he was saying, and I at least admire the honesty. Like, Charles isn't going to sit up there and tell you. If he had sat there and said, I'm so sorry, this is one of the worst things I've ever done, and I apologize to children everywhere, it would have felt very ungenuine.
Charles is terrific, and I love that program. But what I've learned, because I've been fortunate enough to work on different shows, is that when you're on matters. So they're able to have a different shtick because they're late night TV.
Oh, no, because everybody's consuming it 24 hours a day on their phone.
Correct.
Those old rules are just gone.
Correct. But when it happens in the moment, normally it's at 1 in the morning. So that caters to
it lives forever, all the time, 24 hours a day. I don't think that matters.
All right, this is a good discussion. It's one that we can certainly continue. But we have Todd McShay ready to go. And this has been the moment on the show that Beadle has been waiting for eagerly all day long. We even have a preamble rolling.
And we've got history.
Baker Mayfield, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson.
4 quarterbacks go in the top 10. 5 go in the first round.
All right, Beadle, are you ready? Here we go.
So ready.
It is Todd McShay's way too early mock draft for 2019. And McShay, we know that quarterbacks were obviously the theme last week. Is it going to be the theme next year?
I don't know who's more excited about this thing, Beadle or me.
That's fair.
No, it's not the theme this year. Not the theme this year, unfortunately, Greeny. We're going in the trenches. We got some big guys this year, and listen, it's not as exciting as probably this past year's draft, but we got some really good talent. Rashawn Gary from Michigan is, you remember him. He was the #1 recruit his freshman year coming in. And he played a little bit on a deep line. This past year, he got better. I think he's going to take another step this year. 6'5", 281 pounds. He's versatile, can play inside and outside. And I think he's exactly what the NFL is looking for right now. If the Giants are picking there, you'd think that they would need a quarterback, but there's none to give them at this point. Defensive end, Nick Bosa would be the #2 guy off the board in this way too early mock draft. He's the younger brother of Joey Bosa, 8.5 sacks last year, 16 tackles for loss, a lot like his brother. He's a technician with his hands, really slippery as a pass rusher, and can defend the run. So he's a complete player, just like Gary. And then finally, Ed Oliver. I think if Ed Oliver came out after his freshman year, this guy would have been a first-round pick, maybe a top 10 pick. He's 6'3", 290 pounds. You look at him, he's your classic 3 technique. I'm not saying he's Aaron Donald, but he's built in that mold. Explosive off the line, gets up the field, 38.5 tackles for loss, 10.5 sacks in his first 2 seasons at Houston.
All right, so unfortunately, you left out the only position that I was listening for, which is quarterbacks. Are there any?
Why do you care?
Not for the Jets.
Yeah, what do you care?
I'm going to spend a month hyping up the draft next year. I need quarterbacks to sell. Are there going to be any in the draft?
There are a few on the radar, but let's put it that way. And we still have a lot of work to do on them, and they still have a lot of developing to do. But Drew Lock from Missouri is probably the first name you'll hear when discussing quarterbacks next year, just because of the arm strength and the playmaking ability. Now, he comes from a system that doesn't always translate, and he's got to continue to improve his consistency and his accuracy. But he's got a big arm, and he's got some of the traits that you look for at that position. And then the next quarterback that is going to be interesting, and I'm excited to dive into these guys and study more, but Justin Herbert from Oregon, I had him going to the Chargers later in the first round. He's a quarterback that's getting a lot of buzz now in terms of the draft, but I don't think nationally has become a big name. So we'll see if some of these, Ryan Finley's another one from NC State that, we saw flashes of last year. Can he take another step in the right direction this year and become another first-round quarterback from NC State? We'll wait and see. But there's not elite talent at the top, but there are a few guys that could wind up having a Baker Mayfield type move when it's all said and done.
And do not sleep on Clayton Thorson from Northwestern if he comes back healthy. McShay, I know this is your favorite time of the year to do these way too early mock drafts and to get up way too early to talk to us. Thank you, McShay. We'll talk to you again soon. And one more reminder that ESPN's Draft Academy is an 8-part documentary, a personal behind-the-scenes look into the lives of Sam Darnold, Josh Allen, Minkah Fitzpatrick, and Shaquem Griffin. All 8 episodes are right now on ESPN Plus. They're streaming exclusively on the ESPN app. Start your free trial of ESPN Plus today. We got predictions to make. You're going to make some laughs as we continue next. But first, a look at what's coming up right after us on First Take. Molly, what's going on?
Hey, guys. Greeny, I can't believe you're concerned about quarterbacks. You got Sam Darnold. Thought you were so excited. You know what's going on.
Everybody getting on you about that.
We got playoffs. We're going to be watching Beetle and Jalen tonight. Damian, I'll start with you. We got the big fella in the house today. Always good to have you, my friend. What's on your mind?
Yeah, my boy Max talking about the Houston Rockets and how they're going to still win it all. I don't know. After looking at last night, I'm going to have to smack them down on that one.
Max?
Well, look, there are a couple of things going on here, Molly.
Okay.
One, there's an idiot on this show who says that this Toronto Game 2 at home is not a must-win. You'll find out who that idiot is. Plus, there's another one who thinks the Cavs didn't get lucky in Game 1. We got a lot to get into.
Name calling, uncharacteristic of you, Max. First take in just a few minutes. More Get Up after the break.
Come on, get up.
How's he getting all the parts?
The client loves him.
But